Well, a Mammoth Lakes man was arrested over the weekend on several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon, a hatchet. Now, a press release from the Mammoth Lakes Police Department states that on Saturday, January 4th, at approximately 11:40 p.m., Mammoth Lakes police officers responded to a call of an intoxicated man swinging a hatchet at patrons at the Tap Bar, Main Street, Mammoth Lakes. Now, when the first officer arrived, several people, according to the press release, pointed to Christopher Alderfer, age 32, of Mammoth Lakes. Alderfer was taken into custody without incident. Now, the officer's investigation, again, according to that press release, determined that Alderfer attempted to take a picture of beer outside the bar. He was told several times by a security guard he could not do so, and at one point, Alderfer tried to physically force his way past the security guard to get the pitcher of beer outside. Now, the press release states that Alderfer told the security guard, "I'll be right back," and exited the bar. He returned a short time later carrying a hatchet, according to that press release, which he swung at the security guard and then began swinging it in a figure 8 in front of his body. Alderfer threatened to kill the security officer as he swung the hatchet at him from approximately 3 feet away. The security guard was able to avoid being struck. Alderfer returned the hatchet to his vehicle before officers arrived. Now, witnesses supported the security guard's explanation, and one overheard Alderfer say that the hatchet was a throwing axe. Witnesses also described Alderfer threatening to throw the axe at them. Now, officers located the 15-inch hatchet. Alderfer submitted to a breath test which showed his blood alcohol level was 0.26. Alderfer was arrested and booked at Mono County Jail in Bridgeport for assault with a deadly weapon, exhibiting a deadly weapon, criminal threats, and the press release states, plain drunk. Well, Bennett Kessler filed this following story. Visitor numbers were up in Mammoth Lakes last year, and crime went down. After police issued crime and traffic statistics for 2013, Sierra Wave Media talked to Mammoth Police Chief Dan Watson, who is not taking credit for the crime reduction. The chief said that any police chief who takes credit would make a mistake. The crime rate, he said, will go back up. Now, Watson said large swings in crime statistics are not uncommon. He did note that Mammoth has gone along with the nationwide trend of reduced crime. Now, the Pew Research Center reported that the national rate of non-fatal violent gun crime dropped 75% in the past 20 years. Homicides went down 49%. Now, Harvard School of Public Health reported that not just gun crime, but all crime has gone down. Mammoth police statistics show that in the last 10 years, Part 1 crimes in Mammoth Lakes dropped from 430 in 2004 to 223 in 2012. Now, within those 10 years, the number of crimes did drop, went back up, and then dropped again. Chief Watson had reported earlier this week that the town experienced a 27% reduction in Part 1 crimes, plus reductions in injury, hit and run, and DUI traffic collisions when compared to last year. Now, Part 1 crimes include murder, rape, robbery, assault, burglary, larceny, and car theft. Now, according to police, all crimes showed a double-digit decrease except for auto theft, which increased from 2 stolen cars in 2012 to 6 in 2013. Again, see our website, sierrawave.net, for the Mammoth statistics. Now, asked about the nearly 50% cut in police staff and the impacts, Chief Watson said officer-initiated activities were reduced by the short staffing. Traffic citations were down by 30% because of the loss of 7 officers. Chief Watson called the current situation, quote, a good trend with 2 consecutive years of double-digit crime reductions, end quote. Well, Elizabeth Tenney is putting on the 2014 Eastside Know How Series, taking place at Raptors in Mammoth Lakes. Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill has the rundown.
So, Elizabeth, what is the 2014 Eastside Know How Series?
This is a series of talks by the incredible local talent we've got in the Eastern Sierra. In 6 minutes, they're going to tell you how to do whatever their talent is.
And what inspired you to put on this event?
Well, you know, the TED Talks, which started in Silicon Valley, the original talks, they invited, innovators and designers and inventors, and they talked for 18 minutes, and you had to pay thousands of dollars to be in the audience. Well, then they started something called the TED Lightning Talks, and they're 5 minutes long, and it's amazing what you can get across in 5 minutes. But I figured on the East Side, we have so much to say, we're going to do it in 6.
That's great. And can you tell us some of these talks that we're going to be hearing, or some of the things we have to look forward to?
Well, on January 14th, we're going to have the owners of Mammoth Brewing Company talk about how to brew beer, especially beer that says Eastern Sierra. The fire chief in Mammoth and the reporter at the Mammoth Times, Wendy Grzeski, who was the only woman on her hotshot fire crew in Montana, is going to talk about how you fight a wildfire in the air and on the ground. We have 2 Olympians on January 14th. One will talk about, with her husband, who's a coach, training at high elevation. And then the other one will talk about how you win a race, because she was on the Olympic ski team in Grenoble, France. Dr. Dennis Schumacher will talk about how to avoid a stroke or heart attack at altitude. And a local photographer who's really pretty famous, John Ditley, is going to talk about how you capture Sierra light with a camera.
Oh, that sounds great. And I understand that there's no charge to go to these events?
Oh, absolutely free. This is all volunteer. I got this idea, asked a few friends if they were interested, and there was such an enthusiastic response that it grew to 3 evenings. We are each evening, though, January 14th, February 11th, and February 25th, we're going to have a different charity. We'll be accepting donations for a different charity each night.
Oh, great. And this is going to be at Rafters Restaurant and Lounge on Old Mammoth Road?
Yes, we're very glad that Rafters is providing the venue because this is a much bigger event than I originally anticipated it would be, and I think there's going to be a good crowd. So it will be at Rafters on Old Mammoth Road. That's in the Sierra Nevada Resort. And the talks start at 6:15, but I suggest that people get there early, so I think there's going to be a good crowd.
I do too. I know that I will definitely be in attendance. So these events are going on January 14th, February 11th, and February 25th, all at 6:15 p.m. That's when the talks start, and that's going on at Rafters on Old Mammoth Road. Make sure to get there early for some no-host drinks and appetizers. Make sure to bring your friends as well. But seating is limited. Like I said, get there early, folks. There's going to be all sorts of great talks going on February 11th and February 25th. Elizabeth, could you just tell us what we have to look forward to just a little bit on February 11th and
We're going to learn
25th?
how you build a ski, how to outsmart an avalanche. Neil Satterfield from Bishop is going to talk about that. We're going to talk, or hear talks, I'm not going to talk about it, but we're going to hear talks about how you make a film with no money, about Mark Twain in the Eastern Sierra. That's Jesse Steele from Big Pine. A local attorney, Jim Reed, is going to talk about the murders that happened at Convict Lake when those convicts escaped from Nevada State Prison and the posse went after them. And he's got new insight into that, and he's just written a book about it. There's really some good talks. That's on February 11th. We'll have 8 talks altogether. February 25th, we'll have 8 talks as well. Tim Alpers is going to talk about how to grow a trout. I'm sure you've all enjoyed Alpers trout. Alicia Venos will talk about how she convinced the producers to film a Tom Cruise movie in June Lake. That was a pretty big deal for Mono County's economy. The former director of Mammoth Mountain Ski School, Jack Copeland, is going to talk about the 3 fundamentals of skiing you need to master to be a great skier. How to turn geothermal energy into electricity. We'll hear about that. Steve Klassen, who owns probably the most famous snowboard shop in the world, will talk about how he won a free ride snowboard competition in France. I believe it was 5 times. Navigating the Eastern Sierra by air from a local pilot, Buck Wall. And then probably the most amazing talk of all will be how to survive hantavirus from Catherine Allen, who lives in Bishop. And her son got hantavirus last summer, and it was just really close for him to get through that, and that's going to be just amazing. The talent here is, you got to be a special person to live on the East Side. You got to be self-reliant, really resourceful, creative, that sort of stuff. And the people who are and come here and bring their talent to us, they really thrive. And you're going to hear in 6 minutes for each one how to.
Oh, that looks pretty cool. The 2014 East Side No House Series, and it's free. First one, January 14th at Rafters. Hey, we got a heartwarming story here. This is 9-year-old Madeline Morrison. She's known as Maddie to her friends and family, and according to a press release from iCare, made a very grown-up decision recently when she chose to help iCare with their Raise the Roof, a Cause for Paws campaign. That's to build the new animal shelter and pet adoption center in Big Pine. Maddie emptied her piggy bank donated $202.35. Maddie's 4th grader at Round Valley School, loves animals. She's been riding horses and mules at the Double L Ranch since she was 3 years old. She also helps her parents, Michael and Venetia, with all the foster dogs that come through their home, giving them lots of love and attention before they go to their adoptive homes. And again, Maddie pledged her piggy bank savings to iCare till all the funds are raised for a new animal shelter. So if you would like to help out and, again, be like Maddie, you can visit the website icareforpets.org. Talk to Lisa Sadie. She said that iCare not quite getting as many donations as they would like for that new animal shelter and pet adoption center in Big Pine. So anything you can do to help out be greatly appreciated. And again, check out that website, icareforpets.org. We'll be back with a weather report.